All right, how you feeling, guys? It's Kim here, and today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different to my channel. We're gonna unbox a brand new Psp Go white system. Well, the listing said that this is a open box, but the system has never been used. So I hope that's true. So we'll see about that. And the Psp Go, of course, a system that came out October 1st in 2009. Both in Europe and US, and a month later it also came out on Japan. Now, compared to the 3000 model, which was the previous model, this Psp Go system is 16% lighter and 35% smaller than the 3000 model. And also the 3000 model had a 4.3 inch screen, while the Psp Go system had 3.8 inch screen. And also the screen quality is definitely higher on the Psp Go. Now, one of the biggest issues with this system at the time was the fact that it's an all digital system. So for those people who may have already had like UMD games and physical media, there was no official way to transfer these games to the Psp Go, even though there was actually talks about that even by Sony, I believe, at the time, but of course it never happened. So for those people who may have already had like PSP UMD collection, there was no way to continue using those on here, because originally the only way to play games on the Psp Go system was to download and from the PlayStation Store and play them that way. So even if you had a game on the Psp Go, you would have to go and rebuy it here on the Psp Go, which was not, of course, ideal for many people. And this system comes with a 16 gigabytes of onboard storage, which at the time actually was not too bad in 2009. And here it says the smallest, lightest PSP yet. And in addition to the 16 gigabytes onboard storage, there's also expandable memory card. But the unfortunate thing is that it uses a Sony's M2 memory card, which only works for the Psp Go. And I believe these cards at the time, for 16 gigabyte card, it would have been something like a 80 or maybe $100 for a 16 gigabyte card. And the previous PSP models actually used one of these, the Memory Stick Pro Duo. So even if you had a memory card from the previous PSP model, it would not work with the Psp Go model, which was not a great thing. Another info here on the top of the box, we have a Wi-Fi. This Wi-Fi actually nowadays is pretty useless because it uses old Wi-Fi standards, but it still works for multiplayer with multiple PSPs, so that's nice. Also, this is the only model that has Bluetooth out of the PSP line. And even the modern Bluetooth headsets that I have tried actually work with the Psp Go. And here's the, I also have the black model of Psp Go. So we're going to compare those here. So we can compare those later here also. So what else? Here you can just see a pearl white, which is the color of this system. And on the back of the box, it says contents. There should be a Psp Go system here, AC adapter, USB cable, CD-ROM, and the manuals. And here it has some info about the system. It says some PSP accessories may not be compatible with this device. And also it says no UMD drive. UMD media will not function with this device, which we already talked about. So yeah, originally the only way to play games on this system was to download them through the PlayStation Store. But nowadays, fortunately, there is a different way to actually get your UMDs. If you have a collection of UMD games, like I do have a big collection of them, to transfer them here, and that is awesome. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But that requires you to put a custom firmware here, which is very easy to do, and I definitely recommend if you have one of these. So that way you can use your actual UMDs. If you have a PSP 1, 2, or 3000 model, you can rip the UMDs to memory card and then transfer them here. Or, of course, you can just download the games if that's the way you want to go. But yeah, let's actually unbox the system here. So this should be new. Let's see what we have here. There we go. And there's the Psp Go system. Now, actually, one thing I'm right away a little bit concerned with is that this is actually not the original wrapping that the Psp Go system should be in, but we'll see. This should be brand new. So first we have the system. Let's put that side to this side just for a moment and see what else you get in the box. So so there is your USB cable, the charging cable, and also if you want to connect it to the PC. So that's nice. Then you have the adapter for charging the device. Uses the USB goes in there, and then you're ready to go. And then it comes with the manuals for the system in various languages. And also at the bottom of the box, there's well, let's take a look at that also. Some information, and there's the MediaGo disc, which I do not know what that is. Maybe it has some video demos or something. I don't know what that includes, but let's put the box aside and let's take a look at the system. All right, so here we have the Psp Go White. And like I said, one thing I'm a little bit concerned is the fact that this plastic wrapping here is not the original wrapping that the Psp Go system should come in, but let's see. So there's the Psp Go, and well, I have to say, it definitely does look like a brand new Psp Go. And there's the back. I really like the white console. Yeah, one way to tell if the Psp Go, the white model is used, these rubber grips usually go yellow if the system is old. But here, as you can see, they are looking really nice here. And compared to my a little bit beat up Psp Go black, you can see that's how that looks. And here's the brand new white model. I really like the white model, how it looks. So a little bit about the system here. Now, on the front of the system, what you have is two speakers here on front. Then you have the Wi-Fi indicator light right there, and a Bluetooth indicator light on the other side. Then you have the Psp branding here, Sony at the top, and here's your PlayStation button. So that's what you use if you want to, for example, quit the game and go back to the PlayStation menu. And here on the top of the system, we have the triggers. These are actually great triggers because they, no matter where you press, it's easy to press. And I really like that. Then what else we have here? We have this icon. This is the screen brightness button. So there's like maybe 4 different brightness settings. You can flip through them pressing that. So that's great. Then you have your volume up and down on the middle. And then there's this music note button. This is actually, I believe, if you listen to a music on this device, you can use that to basically flip between different like preset equalizer settings or something like that. So there's that. Then on the back of the system, we have the Psp logo once again, and these rubber grips, and I believe those are just so it doesn't like move when it's on a table or something, and it definitely does hold the system better here. Then on this side we have the power switch, so you can flip this up to power the system, flip it up and hold to shut down the system, or flip it down and that locks the buttons. So basically you can press any buttons accidentally. Here on the other side you have the wireless switch here if you want to play multiplayer, or at the time if you wanted to use the Wi-Fi. Then there's the memory card slot. So here you can put in the expandable memory. So yeah, let's. Oh yeah, on the bottom you also have the headphone jack here and the charging port here. And like I said, this has Bluetooth, so even some of the modern headsets, Bluetooth headsets that I have tried, have worked with my PSP Go, the black system. And here are both of these systems, the black and white side by side. I actually prefer the white one, but I think they're both really cool. And the white one is a little bit more uncommon than the PSP Go black. But the PSP Go black, these rubbers actually, even when it's an old system like this, they actually stay pretty good looking. Just a little wipe down here to make the black one look a little bit better here. But yeah, there's the different models. Which color do you prefer here, black or the white one? Okay. So now let's actually boot up the system here, and after that, I'm gonna talk quickly about a little bit about the transferring games here and the method that I use. Like I said, you can just go and download the games if you want to, but I actually like to use my actual games that I have in my collection. And to do that, you need also either a PSP 1, 2, or 3000 model, or the Street model. Basically, any model that has the UMD drive, you can actually rip the games to your memory card using a custom firmware. So, but now, before I'm going to do any custom firmwares here, let's actually flip this open and see if there's any battery here. So there's the sliding mechanic, which is a cool thing about the PSP Go. As you can see, it definitely looks brand new here with the buttons and everything. Everything is so clean here. And of course, this model has a analog stick here also, but this is a little bit different compared to the previous models because, well, first of all, it's smaller. Let's actually take a look at the 3000. It is definitely a smaller, but I actually do prefer the PSP Go stick here because this is a lot stiffer than the PSP 3000 and previous models, and to me at least, this feels a lot better than those. But yeah, it seems like this system does not have any battery here. Or, well, hold on a second. Let's actually try to. Yeah, this does not turn on, so. I'm going to need to charge this device a little bit, and then we are actually going to continue the video. Okay, guys, so now the PSP has been charging for a while, so it at least should turn on now. So let's flip it open and try to power the device on. And we do get a green light, so that's a good sign. This is the first boot up ever to a PSP Go. First, it's gonna ask the date, which today is 11th of June. All right, so there is the menu of the PSP, and let's see the firmware version here. This can be found here, and it's 6.1. Now the latest firmware is 6.61, I believe, and well, I have to check from online is this the original firmware or not. But if the listing was true that this is never used, then this would have been the original firmware that the PSP Go came with. And yeah, here's your PSP menu. Of course, very familiar for PS3 users. Very much like that menu on the PS3. And here's your PlayStation Network menu. And this is where you would originally download the games from. But of course, the PlayStation Store for the PSP nowadays is closed, so you can't go here and download the games. But I do believe that if you use a PS3 or maybe even on a PC, you can still actually buy the games from the PC and then transfer them using the PS3 or something like that. But and of course, this being a service being closed, you can't really do much with the unmodded PSP Go. But I'm gonna actually mod the system here off camera, and then I'm gonna transfer some of my games to the PSP Go. One thing more about the PSP Go is that a couple things more about the PSP Go is that I forgot to mention that this does not have a user replaceable battery like the older models had. But fortunately, it is actually pretty easy to still, if you need to replace the battery, you just need to unscrew the 4 screws on the back. Then on the top, you have 2 screws, and with that, you get the access to the battery. So pretty much anybody should be able to do battery, swap the battery even for the PSP Go model. And one thing about the PSP Go model is that if you close the lid, wait a minute. Yeah, you get the clock here, which is pretty useless, I think. You can also switch from the menu. You can also switch the function to be, if you close it, to automatically go to a sleep mode, which I think is a little bit better option than this. But also one thing that some people may not know is that if you press both triggers here when the clock is showing, you can switch it to be a calendar. So you can see the dates, and you can also flip through the months with the triggers here. So that's pretty cool. But now I'm going to put this to a sleep mode. And one cool thing about the PSP systems, and this is also true for the PS Vita and all the PSP models, I believe, that when they are in sleep mode, they barely use any battery at all, which is fantastic. Like if you leave it like overnight, it maybe 1% is gone or something like that. So that's something I always liked about the PSP sleep mode and Vita. Now, many of these games I have already backed up a long time ago, so I don't need to do that. But for this video, I'm just going to use this game as an example here, because I have not backed up this Metal Slug game. Brightness here. So what I'm going to do here is just going to take the UMD, and in this case, it's going to be the Metal Slug game. And what you're going to do is just put the game in your PSP 1, 2, 3000, even street model. And of course, like I said, you need to have custom firmware for this to work. But you can download the app called PSP Filer. It boots up. Now we get this menu here, and I'm going to press triangle. And then I'm going to press the right trigger, which is UMD ripping, like that. And then you can choose the name for the file. I'm just going to keep the original file name, because that is the same as the code here. So I'm going to just keep that one. I'm going to press start when I'm ready. And now, as you can see, it starts to rip the UMD to the memory card, and there you can see that this game is 444 megabytes. Then you can see how much time is remaining, and of course the remaining time depends on the size of the game, but for this game it takes about 6.5 minutes. And after that is done, I'm going to transfer the game to my PC, and then I'm also going to install a custom firmware here on the PSP Go and transfer my backups to the PSP Go and check them out. And the custom firmware is super easy to install. Like I said, it takes like 25 minutes. Anybody can do it, and super easy to do, and definitely recommended to do, in my opinion. So you can use if you have a collection of UMDs and a older model of PSP, you can also easily rip your games to the memory card. So yeah, here we are. So now you can see, if you go to system settings and do the information, you can see that we have 6.61 LME, which is a permanent custom firmware. And like I said earlier, it's really easy to install. It took me like 10 minutes to do that. But even if you don't know, even if you haven't done it ever, it's super easy, and that's true for all the PSP models. And I actually also put a couple games here, a couple backups here now, because now this can run just the ISO files. And the, like I said earlier, when we backed up the Metal Slug XX on the PSP 3000, basically what it does, it creates an ISO file to your memory card, and with the custom firmware, you can play your backups here on the Psp Go, or just download them, because that's also an option. But I just like to use my actual games. So for example, the Metal Slug XX, we can now launch this game and it runs just perfectly fine. And I have to say that my favorite PSP model definitely is the PSP Go. I mean, this is still a lot smaller than the PSP 3000. It's a lot more portable, and I really like that about the PSP Go. Or even compared to something like PlayStation Vita, which we have right here. You can see that the size difference is actually quite big. But if you only want to play PSP games on original hardware without spending too much money, then I wouldn't say that the PSP Go is the way to go, because the 3000 model basically has more features and also is way cheaper, and also can play the UMDs even without the custom firmware. So that is definitely the way to go if you just want to get cheap as possible and also a great system. And then we got the Vita, which also even when it comes to PSP is a great option, because this obviously can play the Vita games and PSP games also. And installing custom firmware for the PS Vita is also pretty easy nowadays. Not as easy as the PSP, but still it's pretty easy. And all the PSP games look great here. You can customize the controls. For example, in many games, you can customize the camera to be controlled with the second thumbstick, which is nice. But I do think still personally that the PSP games look best on the PSP Go, even better than on the Vita. But yeah, here we now have a Metal Slug XX video. But what are your thoughts about the PSP in general? What is your favorite model? I think most people think that their favorite model is PSP 3000 or 2000. But tell me in the comments, which one do you think is the best model of PSP? And also, do you think the PS Vita is a better option to play PSP games? For me, I would say this is my favorite way to play PSP games, and then after that, maybe the Vita. For the main mission, single. Yeah, let's just pick that one. Ralph. Mission 1. Okay. I'm sorry about the glare, but maybe you can see at least something. Oh, there you go. PSP modded. Can play all of your backups if you have a PSP 1, 2, or 3000. Just back them up here or download the games from the internet. I don't care. And that is a fantastic system nowadays because thanks to the custom firmware, the PSP Go is an amazing system. And also I have here Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team. I definitely recommend checking this game out if you are a fan of the PlayStation 2 Dragon Ball games, the Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3. This is very much like those games, but it has some unique features like two versus two battles. It's basically the thing here in the PSP version, but you can also play one on one. So I also transferred my save files from the black PSP Go. It's super on a PSP is super easy to transfer the save files. Basically, you just plug in the PSP to the PC, then you go to your save data folder and just copy the save files. And almost all games you can just copy over and continue them on another system. I think Gran Turismo is the only game that I know of that you can't do that. It's basically locked. The save file is basically locked to the system you started the game with, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So here we're going to do a team battle. Let's do that for the demonstration here. I'm going to go Goku. Let's go with Team Gohan. I mean Gohan, not Goku. And let's say my partner is going to be Majin Buu. There we go. And I'm going to fight against Cell, which is maybe my favorite villain from the Dragon Ball games and the TV series. And then let's take Frieza here also. So there we go. Go to OK. And as you can see, it's very much like the PS2 games. You got your maps here like Wasteland. And if you actually progress further into the game, you also unlock new stages here. But let's go do a Wasteland. Also, you have the sensor being option here. So basically, you can get revived once if you want to. But yeah, take a look at this. Very much like the PlayStation 2 version of the game. Also plays almost identical to that. So I'm gonna just switch to a little bit better position so I can demonstrate the gameplay. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, this actually does look a little bit better here as I'm holding it compared to the video, but I think it looks alright even on the video. But yeah, this plays just like the PS2 Budokai Tenkaichi games, which is awesome. Also, if you press select, you can transform to different. Yeah, definitely check this game out if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi games on the PS2, because I feel like many people may not even know about this entry to the series. There we go. And we can actually let's try to do the super move here. There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot this. I actually lost that, so the attack is not powerful because of that. But yeah, fantastic game. Yeah, fantastic game. Definitely check that out. And I thank you for watching the video. It's super cool to have a brand new Psp Go, and yeah, not much else to say about the device. I am currently working also on a PSP related video that is more in the style of my channel, where we'll take a look at a PSP game versus a PS2 game and see how they compare. It's the game in the same series, but it's not the exact same game. I think that should be a pretty fun video. But yeah, I'll see you next time, guys, and I thank you for watching the video, and subscribe here for more graphics comparisons like my Dreamcast and PS2 videos. Also, those I will be continuing, and many more ideas I have when I have time. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.